Hello and welcome to TV Boxing and Fighting Irish. And with me today is the Southern Area champion, Mr. Jack Hughes. Hello, Jack. I've never done an interview in an airport while I'm in the airport before.
It's all right.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. So, Southern Area champion, what's that like?
It's pretty good, mate. I can't lie. It's pretty good. I've been buzzing obviously ever since. I've just been traveling everywhere with my belt. I bring the belt up to Scotland to see my fiance's family and had it around with all the kids, and they loved it. Been had a busy day today, going to all the gyms that I used to train around, and brought the belt down. And like everyone just wants to get a photo with me, and everyone's very proud of me. So it's a good feeling.
Yeah. So,
He's gone. There you go. So I lost you then.
or I'm a celebrity or one of those.
Yeah, it does feel like that because everyone wants my attention at the moment. Everyone wants a photo. So yeah, it does feel like I'm a bit of celebrity at the moment.
Absolutely. Uh, it's like Strictly Come Dancing could be next. How's your feet for dancing?
I'm not much of a dancer, mate. My fiance tells me all the time I'm not much of a dancer at all.
Hmm, very good. So, yeah. So, what got you into boxing, or have you been boxing your whole life?
No, it's quite a funny story because it was around the time when Ricky Hatton and Floyd Mayweather were fighting, and
Yes, I was at it.
yeah, and I was 15 at the time, and I had no
I
interest
was,
in.
I was a little bit old.
Huh? You
I
was a
was
little
just
bit
a little
older.
bit old.
Yeah, yeah. So I had like no interest in boxing like whatsoever. It did not appeal to me in the slightest. And all my friends made a group chat on MSN at the time, and they invited me into it. And they was like, "Oh, Jack, we all want to come round your house and watch the boxing," because they knew that my mum would be the only one that would order the fight, and none of theirs would order it. And I was not keen on the idea at all. I was like, "Oh, lads, not for me, not really interested." And they was all begging me for ages. Come on, man, please, please, you're our only hope. This, that. And I was like, oh, do you know what? Whether I like boxing or not, all my friends will be over, so I'll have a good time regardless. And ended up ordering the fight. And I just don't know, man. The second the fight started and I see Ricky Hatton's ring walk and so on, I was just instantly hooked on it. And I was glued to the TV. And then I just remember after that, a couple of months later, on my 16th birthday, I was down at Ricehaven District Boxing Club.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, and you're from Ealing. That's not far from where my aunt lives because I'm going to Hayes End
Okay,
this
yeah,
evening.
yeah.
That's where I'll be staying. And one summer I worked there, and I ended up working in Ladbroke Bookies in the Heathrow Run, it's called. And one of the shops that I had to kind of cover was Greenford, and that's where you are now.
Yeah. Well, I'm based in Ickenham, but it's not far from Greenford. Yeah, it's literally like 10 minutes away.
Excellent, yeah, brilliant, cool. And how many amateur fights did you have before you turned pro?
Not a lot. I only had 10, so I had, I think it was 3 or 4 when I was 16 to 17, and then I stopped and I come back at 21, and I was no 2023. Sorry, I came back 23, and did another year, and I think I had like 7 fights when I was 23 to 24, and then I turned over professionally at 24.
And what made you want to go pro?
Well, it's just I wasn't really getting any, no one gets any younger. I was just it was something I'd always obviously dreamed about as a kid. And I remember there was a lad called Robinson who I used to train with when I was 17 at Hook's gym, and he was making his professional debut, and we got back in contact, and he invited me down to watch his pro debut, and I went down to York Hall and watched my one of my long time friends fight and make his pro debut, and I just remember I was just like, wow, this is everything I could ever dream of doing. And yeah, so it wasn't long after I see Luke make his debut. I turned over not that long after at the end of the season with Rice Dip that year, and yeah, it was probably because if it weren't for Luke turning over, I probably would have never turned over.
Absolutely, and and I see you're a big QPR fan, which I suppose is the
Yeah,
other club in West London.
what Brentford or Chelsea? Oh, you're on mute. I can't hear you.
Sorry, it was Chelsea, the one I was talking about. I muted because there's announcements.
Oh, right, no worries. Yeah, I've been a QPR fan for a long time now. I think the first game I ever went to watch, I think I was 11 years old, and it was against Stockport, and we was in it was the called Division Two at the time. It would be League One now, and yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday. We won 1-0, and Kevin Gannon scored a penalty in the 89th minute. That was the first game I ever went.
Awesome.
Yeah, with my uncle, and yeah, I've been a fan since.
Yeah. My overriding memory of QPR was Les Ferdinand, because he was a legend, and
Yeah,
also John Jensen, Arsenal's
mm,
famous midfielder that didn't score. His
yeah.
first ever goal was against QPR, and it
Oh,
was
really?
just, it was. I don't think he scored too many more, but
Yeah,
he finally broke the duck against QPR,
mm, typical.
and yeah, so that's pretty cool. And so your pro debut was a bit of a disaster, darling, as Craig
Yeah.
Revel Horwood might say.
Yeah, like that was probably just it was all just down to inexperience, you know. As I
Yeah,
said, I had 10 amateur fights, which isn't a lot at all. And within within the time I turned over to fighting, it was literally probably in the space of like 4 months or something, which wasn't really a long time to transition into the pro game from the amateur game. And it was kind of obviously being pro and learning how to cut weight and being around professional athletes was all new to me, and I'm a really light lad. Like obviously I fight at 8 stone, which is like 52 kilo, and there's not many of us in the country. To be honest, there's not really many of us in the world. So I think it was also new to my coach at the time as well, because he was obviously always around welterweights, heavyweights, and so on and so forth. And yeah, it was kind of new to both of us, and I don't think we kind of got the camp right at the time. And yeah, it was just one of them things. But I'm really grateful for the experience because it taught me a lot. It taught me how hard professional boxing was, and it made me grow
yeah,
as a person and a fighter. So all's well that ends well. I got a rematch with the guy and beat him again, so you know it all worked out in the end.
yeah. And speaking of rematches, so your first challenge for that Southern Area title, it was a draw.
Mm.
So you went at it again, and you got the decision the second time round. So that must have been awesome, getting your hand raised and getting a belt put around your waist.
Yeah, as I said, you know, this is everything I ever dreamed of. You know, this is like to get. I wanted to be a champion from the moment I walked into Rice and District Boxing Club, and you know,
Yeah,
I finally it took 6 long years as a professional. There was plenty of ups and there's plenty of downs. I fought for this title. It took me three. I got it on the third attempt, so you know it was third time lucky for me
third
to be
time,
a
round. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. And yeah, and it all just yeah, it was just an amazing feeling and an amazing night.
And when you get to parade around Loftus Road,
I don't know. Maybe I have to get in contact with them and see. That would be a dream come true as well.
absolutely. There's a few big boxing QPR fans. I think it's a popular club of boxers.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is.
Yeah, but very good. So I'm just going to ask a few quick fire questions. I take it you are into boxing. So who's your favorite ever boxer?
It'd be Ricky Hatton. He was, as I said,
Rick
you know,
Newton. Very
yeah,
good.
earlier. He was the one that got me into boxing. So it's definitely Ricky Hatton.
Excellent. And what was your favorite ever boxing fight?
My favorite ever boxing fight, what the one I went to live would be my friend Ryan Crawford. He fought someone. I think his name was Kyle Wheeler. I think he fought. and it was on my promoter's show, Steve Goodwin. They just, oh my god, it was something really special, man. They just went at it. It was an absolute war. My friend,
And is that on YouTube or anywhere we can look it up?
yeah, it is. It's on YouTube. Yeah, yeah. If you type in Ryan Crawford, it should come up. And yeah,
Absolutely. Well, I'll definitely do that.
yeah, give it a watch. It was an absolute war, man. I'll never forget that as long as I live. It was such a great fight.
Cool. And who's your favorite current boxer now? Who's a boxer you go, I'd love to be like him or her?
I'm a massive Josh Warrington fan. I went,
Josh Warrington.
yeah. I went down to
Lead with the
Leeds.
head.
Yeah, I went down to Leeds not long ago to watch him fight when he won the title again against Kiko Martinez,
Yeah.
and it was something special. If you're a boxing fan and you've never gone and watched the Josh Warren fight, you need to do that before he retires, because it is something
Yeah.
absolutely
It looks pretty intimidating, for a non Josh Warrington fan.
yeah.
Not saying I'm not a Josh Warrington fan.
Yeah, you got to do it, man. Trust me.
Sorry, I was just knocking off the announcement there. But you know what I mean? Like, to go into the Lions' den must be very intimidating.
Oh yeah, especially
But
with it.
Warrington would you like that fight?
Yeah, I think that it's a good. Any British, like, when two British fighters get it on, it's always good. But to be personally,
Yeah.
I can't see Wood beating Josh Warrington personally.
There you go. Well, I mean, people I think underestimated Wood, and I was one of them. I mean, he beat Wu, and then he knocked Condon out of the ring. So, there's a lot to be said for the quiet guy sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely got world class power. That's
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. So I mean, he's definitely got a puncher's chance, but I just fancy Josh against 9 out of 10 people in the division.
Oh yeah, well, your team, Josh, and that's cool.
Yeah.
So, what's your ambition now? You've got your Southern Area title. Do you want to defend it a few times, or do you want to push on maybe for an English title, or what do you feel?
I have no interest in defending it, to be honest. And to be honest, I have no interest in going for the English either. The reason I don't have any interest in defending it is because there's 19 flyweights in Britain, and there's literally only about 4 that qualify for the Southern Area title, me being one of them. And I've already beaten one of them, and then the other 2 they're kind of not in a rude way, but they're just at the start of their careers, so they're miles behind me. They're only like 2-0, 3-0. So I have no interest in defending the Southern Area title. And the reason I have no interest in fighting for the English is because I don't really see a difference in level. If you can fight for the Southern Area, you can fight for the English, and so I don't really see a difference. Even though the
maybe
English,
the Lonsdale belt.
yeah, that's what I mean. Next for me, I would like a Commonwealth or a British.
Yeah. Well, I think the Lonsdale belt, I always say with my former co-host Joel, it's such a special belt, for boxers to win, and it looks class. So that'd be cool fighting for that.
Yeah, definitely.
And if you are, we'll definitely tune in. And if it's in London, and if it's in West London, I'll definitely try and get over and check it out. But that's brilliant. So best of luck with it, and we'll definitely be watching out for you. Now, my flight's going to be going shortly, so I'm going to bid you adieu. But have a great weekend, whatever you're doing. And thanks for giving me the interview.
Thank you for giving me the time, mate.
Cheers, buddy. Best of luck in the future, and bring on that Lonsdale belt.
Yeah, 100%. See you later, mate.
Cheers,
Bye.
buddy. Bye-bye.